What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 352. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And what? Yeah, I'm with Adam.
This week we watched Holy Mountain.
It's,
This movie should come with a bag of mushrooms or a hit of acid.
Yes.
I'd rather have the mushrooms. It's just colorful.
It's interesting. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it.
I bet you didn't think you were going to see a bunch of naked kids today, did you, Trev? Can you believe they put that in that movie?
Yeah.
Dude, they killed those dogs. Those were dead dogs.
Yeah.
Crucified.
Crucified dogs, yeah.
Like, this movie was a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's I mean, I understand where the director's coming from with like the message that's trying to be sent, but it's like,
do you?
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
selling Christ.
Oh yeah.
Ego death. It was ego death, the movie.
Yeah.
You got to burn all your money and have an ego death.
And
Like,
what it felt like
some
was,
DMT.
it's like several different like ideas and portrayals of scenarios and situations strung together in some weird fever dream that is like brought together at the end by this quest to nothing. Really, is what you know what I mean? Like when it comes down to it, it's a quest to nothing, you know? It's just I didn't know what to expect, but I wasn't expecting what we got.
No.
Well, I think to me, and I know we've got, this and True Detective to cover, but just as just an overall blanket statement, this episode to me is a lot of I got what I wanted, but not the way I wanted it. So I'm still disappointed. Like, because when you think in terms of like these really strange, surreal type movies and stuff, you're like, okay, this is going to be bonkers looking, like,
Yeah.
And then you get it, and it absolutely nails that,
It was bonkers.
But I just, usually there's something to take away from a movie. I got nothing. I mean, I picked up some of the ideas.
You did just finish watching it, right? So you're fresh off the press. Like, whoa.
Yeah. I watched it.
You're like, I just saw titties. What was that? Leopard heads?
Yeah.
That dude had on his chest.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Well, it's just, there's it. Yeah. I guess I'm just not I'm not in the right mindset. Like, you got to give somebody some minutes, I guess, from this one, dude. My mind is still kind of jarred.
Yeah. No, I mean, overall, it was like, I like the concept of like a person representing a planet type thing. I thought like whenever this started happening, I'm like, are these people in different universes, different realities? Like, what's happening here? And it's like, once they all kind of come together and everything, it's like, oh, these are just like, so this dude, this alchemist. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, well, like a scene that really stuck with me and kind of bothered me was it was that shot of Jesus waking up in the room filled with plaster Jesus.
That was wild, wasn't it?
And he's freaking
I was like,
the
that's
fuck
a
out.
wallpaper.
From that up to like even like to the that next sequence that plays where it shows him walking and all of the, like, I guess the hookers or whores or whatever, and they're inside that church. And so and me trying to make sense of shit, it's like, all right, even the lowest go to church. And then when that kid that's dressed like them steps out,
whoa, right.
And it was like, and we get them while they're young. And then that old man shows up, pulls out his eye, and does that shit.
Whoa.
it was just a really like that was weird.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
And like I feel like this movie like there was the like it had this movie had messages, not just a message.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was just over the top at like how like every time something absurd was done in an attempt to be profound, it was met with another layer of absurdity.
Yeah. And that was kind of the takeaway that I got from it, right? Like even up towards the end, it's like it was almost like the director's attempt, not really attempt, but the director's way of throwing a gigantic middle finger to like art house films. Because like think this is the way that I interpreted the end. There's all this crazy imagery. There's all this stuff. There's this weird, elaborate kind of, somewhat elaborate kind of story thing that's happening here. You've got all these different people representing all these different planets. Blah blah blah. Blah. You've got your Christ-like figure. You've got all this stuff. And then at the end, none of it matters because it's a fucking movie. They're on a fucking movie set. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's and I think and that's that whenever it did the pullback when he breaks the fourth wall at the end,
Yeah.
it it's almost like for like to try to think and dig this movie and be like, all right, what does it mean? That's them going. The movie didn't mean shit,
Yeah, it's
dude.
just a movie.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it didn't. Because on the one hand, yeah, we can sit and pick apart frames and try to be like, oh well, here's this and here's this reference to that and all that kind of shit. And then on the other hand, it's like, dude, it's just crap.
yeah. It's just and that's the
Kind of like
thing
the
too.
gold.
Like yeah.
That was the message
And
behind gold. Just
and that's
shit.
the thing with movies though is like regardless of like what genre, what type of film that it is, like if it speaks to you in some fundamental way, like it means something, regardless of if it's like this highly praised, whatever, this art house indie flick, it doesn't matter. If it speaks to you, then it means something to you. But going out of your way to purposefully be pretentious to try to elicit, to be absurd, just to elicit like some type of a response from the viewer
Yeah.
is you know what I'm saying? Like because whenever I watch a movie, if I find some genuine connection with it, it's normally not like some crazy art house movie. It's normally something that takes me by surprise when it happens. But um I still get that response from it. A lot of directors, a lot of writers try way too hard to try to force that response out of an audience, and it falls flat with 90% of the viewership because people like you're purposefully trying to direct the users or at least the viewers experience and what they should be feeling as opposed to letting them have those feelings naturally. And that was the biggest takeaway that I got from it. And then all of the other stuff like the ego death and all that stuff was basically him saying like, look, you can look at all of those shots, those Stanley Kubrick shots is what I'm going to call it. When they're inside of the thing, inside of the temple or whatever it is, where it's real clean, it's
Oh, at the
real
beginning?
Stanley. Yes,
When
yeah.
when he goes up the hole the gold comes out of?
Yes,
He
yeah.
fucking rode that hook. I was just like, dude, this
I
looks
know, right?
dangerous.
Yeah.
It was
Um
Stanley Kubrick like
yeah,
and just
exactly.
weird like
Well,
the hippo. There was
yeah.
a hippo. There was a baby fucking hippo
Yeah.
just playing in the water. There's like a stork.
Well, that's the one thing that people that you can't say this movie is, and that's not well like shot. Like some of these shots were
Well,
great.
he had a
Oh
vision.
yeah.
Some of those vistas of like the mountains, like just some of them shots of like valleys and just like there's scenery to really take in the movie,
Yes.
That goat chair that he was
but
sitting in. Like
it just
Yeah, that was
it just really Like this is not this is not the Sunday matinee kickback film
Yeah, no.
fucking ever. Like you don't put this on because there's nothing to watch. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah.
Like you you don't watch it because you're bored.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But I don't know. I took away, my takeaway from it, my experience from watching it was like, because we've watched, just look at like, what was that movie, that black and white movie?
Hard to be a god.
Okay, look at Hard to Be a God.
Is that it?
Foreign film.
Because
Yeah.
we watched
that's
another
it.
one where we was like, we're gonna have to come back and revisit that one later. That shit didn't make
Stalker.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Stalker. And it's, like we've especially with foreign films and the fact that like they were speaking English, right?
I think it was shot in Spanish and dubbed. Because when
I
you
mean,
look
there
up the language, it says Spanish, English.
There
Some of
were
it looked
moments
like they
with
were
the lip
speaking
sync.
English,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
some of it didn't line up.
Yeah.
Like the Pope that was in the bed with the Jesus.
Yes, yeah.
I
Some of
couldn't
those
understand a fucking
dubs
word he
were
said.
some of those dubs were hilarious.
It was, dude. The main guy, kind of sounded like the Mexican dude in Napoleon Dynamite, and I
Yeah.
think that was the director, because
I
he's
th-
in the
yeah,
movie.
right.
I think that's the
The
director.
yeah,
Yeah.
the one that talks like
Yes,
this the
hello.
whole time.
It will take you to the
That,
mountain.
that dude, that one motherfucker is like, you're gonna come to the Pantheon bar.
Yeah.
You could have made history. Now you're already being forgotten.
I was like, wow, that bar is a lot bigger on the inside than it was on the outside.
Dude, right?
But like some of these different little tangent storylines of the different people was insane. Like the dude that's like, we were building houses. People don't need houses; they just need a place to sleep. So we're going to build coffins for
Yeah.
people to sleep in, and we're going to shelve them inside of our
The pod.
complex.
Well,
Yes.
what's crazy is some of this, like particularly in that part of the movie, there was a lot of eerily relatable shit.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Depending on what tunnels of nope.
Yeah. You saw that
what
gun,
happened?
did you? The candle gun?
Regardless, yeah. I'm sorry. Oh God, this fucking movie, guys. This fucking movie.
Dude, this is one you can certainly sit around and watch it with people.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? You sit around having a good time.
Like,
put that shit on.
Listen, yeah, it's like, listen, to anyone that's even dare try to get this movie on your TV, you're gonna get looked at really funny several times. If you're okay with that, then this movie's not that bad from any other fucked up movie you've probably sat through. But believe you me, you will get a weird look.
Well, depending on who your friends are, you might sit around and have a good laugh.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, what?
I mean,
it's damn near a comedy at sometimes. Like,
oh man, yeah, that definitely.
Like the way that it starts with those kids throwing rocks at him.
Yeah,
I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, what's happening? You know, how did we get here?
They were stoning him.
And then the dude, they smoke a big joint together, and then they're just laughing.
Right.
And not just a big one, a big one.
I was like, that dude, I was like, I'd like to watch him roll one of those. How'd you do that? It's funny that was his possession he had to get rid of.
Yeah, right.
When he thought about it, it was that little dude he hung out with at the beginning. And the frog fucking battle.
Oh my God.
They blew those fucking frogs up, dude.
Yeah.
They reenacted the conquest of Mexico using lizards
the fat
and frogs.
Roman soldiers that were greedy and just fat.
Yeah.
Like they're selling Christ. Dude had some fucking ideas.
It was an experience.
I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall at that premiere.
I know.
It's like
in '73.
Well, it's almost like he had a cork board with all of these ideas on it. and someone threw a dart, and that dart landed on the one that just says "fuck it, we ball,"
Yeah.
and he just grabs all of them and is like, "I have a script."
It was
But yeah,
wild.
it was wild, man. And it's one of those that's like, I don't know when I'm gonna watch it again,
Yeah.
but I would definitely watch it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I did not hate it by any I really enjoyed it for the most part. There was some parts that I'm like, "This is fucking
So,
weird." You know, like,
yeah.
it just
I
I want to
mean,
go and watch some of his other shit now.
well,
yeah, right.
Cause
this is one of those films where um anyone that's listening, we're not really we're not, you gotta watch at your own risk. It's not for the faint of heart, but like you're in for it.
Yeah.
But
But
if
it's def
but I will say this, if you can handle Brazil, nah, this movie's not that bad. Anything that just goes off the deep end and like a surrealist plunge and all that stuff, because like those movies, I mean, they're kind of just that, they're that category of like, we have more random going on than actual something else, plot,
y
narrative, message, however you want to put it. Because while there is a message, it quickly jumps to another one and to
yes.
another one.
yeah,
Because I had trouble trying to remember the first hour of the movie because of just how outlandish just the whole thing is anyway.
it's the movie kind of changes when he goes up into the tower.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That whole first part was like the life of Brian.
Dollar
Yeah.
General edition.
Yeah,
Um, but the takeaway that I got from it though is that the movie is very well shot. Uh,
very.
some of the scenes, some of the like the production, the sets, I guess. Um, it's almost a shame that some of the shots were. I don't want to. It's probably a bad choice of words, but I hate that they were wasted on this movie because like like there's several of them.
Dude, I'm
Um,
gonna go back in there and clip out the him in that room with all those Jesus, the molds
well,
they
like
use his
the
body for.
Yeah.
yeah,
When it
and that
pulled
that
out of that, I was looking at that, and I want the screenshot of that, and then when they're all destroyed, he's just sitting there.
oh, and
Yeah.
then one of them turns into like cake or
Yeah,
something.
he ate the face off of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hung it upside down with,
It
with
was like,
red and
okay,
blue
we're eating the face
balloons.
off the Jesus statue. Cool.
Mhm.
And then I
Perfect.
want the
But
picture of one of those frogs in that gear. I
well,
thought that was
yeah,
funny.
well, the throne room sequence, like you could
That
tell that these
chair.
were shot. Yeah, they were shot in very large rooms, really large
Yeah.
stages, and you can't deny how well a lot of that was,
Yeah.
and you know, absolute tip of the hat. But like the substance that those shots consist of, that's that's where things get a little difficult and head scratchy. But I mean, I give it a star. A reluctant one, but a star nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I'm
Same.
yeah.
it's I think Adam said it best. Like if it's your poison, you're probably gonna enjoy the film a lot more if you're like completely sedated on mushrooms.
Or something.
Yeah.
Have fun. But it's
Sober
very
watching,
colorful.
yeah, it's a hard watch. Like it is a hard watch.
I was just sitting there like mouth breather, dude. Like, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like, when he gets into the hole, it's like, okay, I see what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But the whole
Yeah,
beginning of the movie, I'm like, what is going on? This is wild. Like, how did this
like
motherfucker
yeah,
come up with this?
it has to be some sort of trip, man.
It had to be. It was in the 70s, so.
Well, what was crazy was there was so like instead of finding one type of symbolism and let it permeate the film, he just took all of it.
Like those cops in the gas mask, they shoot those people, and then the woman, they're like taking pictures, and I'm like, yep, that's what people do now. That's what they do.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
somebody's laying there dying, people pull their camera out, like they don't help. And then the
No.
cop took one of that woman over there and just ripped her clothes off, and
Yeah.
people started taking pictures of that, and I was like, why is everybody wearing sombreros? Like
Yeah. What is happening?
they were tourists. That was wild.
It was. I'm giving it a full star too. It was. I don't know. I was picking up what they were putting down for a lot of it. Not all of it, of course. Let's not get out of hand here because there was some stuff that I was like, this is
Yeah.
flirting that line
Pedo
of
stuff was
being.
getting kind of.
Yeah.
Even the guy that he had do it was like, oh, really? That's the choice we're going with?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm not trying to get too technical here, but I think instead of like 3 gold stars, I think it needs to get 3 gold asterisks. They're kind of like stars. The reason I say is because like the movie, the movie's not. It is absolutely not everyone's thing, and like I'd never heard of it until till Griff had brought it to the table.
Yeah, never. And it's crazy because it's a wild movie. Like,
Yeah,
it's
because
like, really?
this is
I
one
never
of
heard about this?
it's one of the movies you would think would be on a list somewhere a long time ago. Like like it's one of them it's been around the block for so long that you would have, you feel like throughout the years of tumbling through, getting deeper into watching these types of movies, you would think that we
I've
would
seen
have
a lot of
came
lists. I had
across it.
never heard of this movie.
Yeah, same. But these are the kind of movies that I enjoy giving that first watch for,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of my or at least my rating, just comes from that alone. Because even though it's a rough movie to watch in terms of just the content and the sheer amount of it that's packed into this movie for under 2 hours, it manages to hold my attention.
That it did.
Because some movies like this, dude, like Stalker,
Yeah.
that's
That's
I
why
can't do
I
it.
can't give this. I gave that a half star. I could never give this movie a half star after giving Stalker one. Like,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, different strokes for different folks, but Stalker was a really hard watch.
Yes, it was.
well, when it went off, you're like, what the fuck was I supposed to get from this?
Yeah.
When this one goes off, you're like, oh, okay. I mean,
Well,
it tells you what's
I
going
think-
on. Like, it's not,
well, I think-
there's some hidden meaning where you got to crack an egg and
Yeah,
decipher
I
the
think-
code.
I think Griffin summed up some of it really nicely by calling it a fever dream, because it definitely presents itself like it's such a rush of ideas. And I mean, but that's the thing though. I hate it because I feel like I'm being trolled. Like like there's no meaning, and we acknowledge it, but by discussing the fact that it has no meaning, we are like, the movie makes the review absurd.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's pretty fucking genius, honestly.
Yeah. Right. Wildness. So, True Detective.
We got the last 2 episodes. Now, dude,
Yeah.
I know at the end, not this last episode, but the one before, I know at the end of that, y'all was like, what? When he shot his dad?
Yeah. Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
I was on the,
Yeah.
I scooted to the edge of my chair when he shot him. I think I said, what? Out loud, like, didn't see that coming.
No.
Are we mad at the way they wrapped it up? Because it's like, okay. Because it was like, it wasn't the girl that killed him. It was, you know what I mean? It was
Well-
still kind of paranormal, but it wasn't.
Well,
But
I mean, isn't it quite remarkable how they suddenly decided to do the detective work they should have been doing the whole fucking
Well,
show
every
in the
time
last
she
10
was
Yeah.
like, I got
minutes?
to take a break, I'm like, get back in there and ask that motherfucker what happened to those dudes on that ice, man. Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
got to take a break. Y'all been looking for this dude for a month.
Well, I feel like a hypocrite when I think about the finale because one of the reasons why I was very iffy at the start of the season was because they were like, okay, let's just have a lot of supernatural shit going on, and I was like, man, True Detective's all about my realism. But like, we get that, but it's a case of, yeah, I wanted I wanted that to kind of be what happened, but I felt like we spent more time. There were more like, okay, for example, out of all the episodes, you can take shots from moments when when Danvers and Navarro, they're both just sitting there talking about their shit just not being together. You could splice screenshots from every episode, scramble them around, and you wouldn't know which episode was which.
Yeah.
Well, they had a lot going on in their life.
I
Well,
mean, yeah, but at the same time, it was so many episodes and so much time. Like thinking back on the season, there was so much of just them bitching, staring, not caring,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and not for the most of the season, um, the the deputy or whatever, he was getting more shit figured out than them.
Yeah. Well, this is how I felt about it. Okay. Whenever you watch the first season, I'm going to use the first season of True Detective since this is supposed to be a fucking spiritual success or whatever. We'll get into that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
You had Matthew McConaughey's character that was talking all this crazy shit
Mm-hmm.
in the flashbacks and in modern day. And you never knew the entire time if it was real, if he believed it, if he was just fucking with people. Like you never really knew through the entire series up until or the entire season up until towards the end of it um exactly what is going on with him. The fact that they leaned as heavy into this whole paranormal side of things as they did for it to not have realistically any payoff whatsoever, um and then not to even have that point of view like the first season had where it's like it flirts that line. That first season perfectly flirted that line and being like, what is this? Does this dude believe this? Is he just fucking with people? Like, is he just trying to throw people off? Like, what is his
Well,
game here? What is he doing?
yeah, well, and I think to add to it, one of the things that made that work in season 1 was because it was ultimately a crisis of faith storyline, but the character was written to have Woody Harrelson's to work. Like the believer and the non-believer, like he does. Like McConaughey was like, "Yeah, there's nothing." He starts the whole nihilism shit,
Yeah.
and by the end, you realize that like he's been grappling with a more agnostic point of view really than a nihilistic one.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
they
and then
tried to recreate that, but it didn't work in the
not at
same way.
all. Well, because there was no build up to it, man. All we saw were those little flashbacks with Jodie Foster playing peekaboo with her fucking kid. There were no scenes building up to the wreck. There was no
Well,
scenes
was she in the wreck too?
contributing.
Was it her
I think her
fault?
husband.
Oh, okay, that. So she lost some
Yeah.
blood on it because you never
Well,
get
yeah,
the full.
exactly.
Like they tell you what happened. She was like, I was gonna do it, and she was like, "What? Shoot him?" And he's like, "No, I was gonna shoot the other guy right before you did it." It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so we know, and we knew that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
this other
it
thing
kind
is like, give
of.
us a little more info here, like, and then the whole thing with her mom, the
Mhm.
sister. So, like, is she dead now, or is she
Yeah.
just out there
That's a
wandering around? Like, well, it shows her on the porch at the end, sitting there drinking coffee, and she's standing in the corner. I'm like, is she really there, or is this a?
Well, Well, remember how
I mean, she
like
got her name.
remember how season two's ending? How we were talking about how it kind of saved a little bit of season two because of how I don't know meta it got with Vince Vaughn there at the end.
Yeah.
It's like they tried to tap into that again, and not the same effect.
Dude
Yeah.
said time was a flat circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I was
see,
like,
that's
huh.
where I had issue with the whole referencing season one aspect of this because by the third or fourth episode, I was like, so clearly nothing's going to be really explained in
No.
terms of Rust or whatever. So essentially, the season just banks on buzz phrases and imagery from season one.
Well, they tried to explain the whole spiral thing as like they use that to mark where the ice is going to break. Now,
Yeah.
in theory, like that's a cool idea where it's like, okay, the first chick shows up in the first episode of True Detective of season one, and she has that mark or that tattoo or whatever, and it's like, oh, that's the icebreaker for all this crazy shit that's happening. But like for them, first of all, Rust would have known that. Second of all, like with it being introduced in the way that it was in this, made it less impactful than it should have been.
Well, y'all know the
And
creator hated it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, he
yeah.
didn't do this.
Yeah. This
They
Oh,
was
and
did
you
it,
the
can tell.
yeah.
and they linked it to that first season. It's like, why would that
Please
shit
watch our
even be
show.
there? Like, this is some like shit that's going on in Alaska. Why would it even be in Louisiana? You got this cult, you know what I
Well,
mean? Like, they linking them
yeah,
together was
and
dumb. But
it
you saw the
was
bones, the
because
bone spiral. What was
Yeah.
that
yeah,
thing? It was
and
like a dinosaur or
well,
something. I mean,
yeah, it looked like a fucking. I saw where it had like a face, like a skull was in like closer to the center. It was
it
like
had
that
like a
weird
tail and shit. Like,
It was like that fucking vertebrae scan from Jurassic Park.
yeah.
Yeah.
Looks more like a
It's
6-foot turkey.
And then we don't know like what were that stuff they were doing there. Like, we just gonna breeze over that. What would it have done? Could you bring back a dead person? Like,
yeah, yeah.
why was this dude having these weird, like, whenever he was like stopped in place and shaking, and he just looked back and he's like, she's awake. The fuck was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why? Yeah, and they could have
After
took
he
those
died, how he phased
opportunities.
when she came back in and saw him standing there and he was like shaking.
Yeah.
I was like,
Hmm.
that's fucking weird.
Yeah, like, but don't worry about what that means because it don't matter.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster's here.
It's I don't know. They started strong with like building all these relationships and stuff up. Like the strongest part of the show, in my opinion, was the relationship between the dad and the son.
And then and when he
Because there
kills
was
him, you're just like, what?
yes, because there's definitely there's a lot of weirdness happening here. It's father and
Yeah.
son.
Who's Mrs.
You know, they
Robinson?
yeah. And then like it has a full arc. It has a full arc.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster's going to go back to being the same person that she was before. She may or may not see ghosts now. Who the fuck knows? The other chick, Navarro or whatever, I took it as she committed suicide,
She walked out
and
into the
that's
ice and just kept going and froze to death, right?
yeah, and that was that. That's
Okay.
how I took that. And it's like, no, they're like, what do we, what,
Yeah.
like whenever it went off, I was just like, is that really what we're doing here? Like, is this really what we're going for? Because, like, honestly, Strong Start had enough time to make a compelling story, but tried to use the possession slash haunting imagery to try to sell something that like the fan base for True Detective is going to buy into it regardless. I bought into it because I'm a fan of True Detective.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing
Well,
here, man?
what happened to that guy's eyes? So we know who killed the scientist.
Yes.
Their eyes were gouged out. They were well, all this shit, whatever. The guy that mapped the cave, who fucked him up down there?
Yeah.
It wasn't the cleaning ladies.
I don't know.
And I was just starting to get I was starting to like them. Navarro and Danvers, I was getting like, by the final episode, I'm like, all right, I'm on board with it. Before I was like, eh.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster acted her ass off when she asked about her kid
Oh yeah.
when they were out there, and I'm like, dude. And then it's like I knew she was gonna pull her out of that hole. I fucking knew it. But it's like she's talking about wanting to go out there and die. Next thing you know, Danvers is out there. She's out there now. She's hugging. You know what I mean? I'm like, what are we doing? Build a bigger fire, motherfucker. Hey, go get in your car.
Yeah, right.
And turn the heater on. That would have been. There was a vehicle. They drive away in it at the end.
Yeah. So what? I don't. And the fact that like kind of the town was behind. Like I'm fine with that. It is what it is.
Well, a thing that kind of annoyed me was the show takes these like that in the other seasons, even the weakest season. After a certain point, you started getting payoffs for good or bad.
Yeah.
Like plot threads started kind of converging.
Yes.
And in this, they just wrote it to literally like the last 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, see, what they would do in those other seasons was like you would have, here's the plot thread that would tie itself up nicely, but lead into a bigger plot thread. Like it was a daisy chain of plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it would just start hauling ass.
Yeah. And
Because
this
like for season 1, after Matthew McConaughey's character, after Russ gets out of the hood, that show runs at breakneck speed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's
at like the end of every episode is another twist.
Yeah. And the fact that like there's this shit that happens in season 1 and 3, the thing that kind of like drew me into the idea was like there's a case that happened, like season 3 especially. There's a case that happens, they're not able to finish the case. Another case happens 10, 15, 20 years later. They go back into the original case because of the circumstances of the other case. Then fast forward another couple of years and they're right back into it. Like that's the thing season 1 and 2 did. They had to put it off because it went cold, but then something else will pop up and reignite everything. That's why we're bringing Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson back in and interviewing them, because some more shit that was happening similar to that case that got them their wheels started turning. And it's like we've got these people in the ice. They look like the Thing from The Thing. We find out,
well, it's like the show's name instead of True Detective. It could have been New Shit Has Come to Light, the show.
Yeah, right.
Because like you're right, like they could have like the way that they had the way that despite the different individual stories, they all had that similar pattern, that the show's formula that worked for it.
Yeah.
And they chose not to do that this season. Like you can tell.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like I didn't necessarily hate it, but it's just like
it wasn't True Detective.
I am glad. I'm glad that it wasn't like some supernatural shit.
Yeah.
You can tell he didn't write it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They left him on as a producer. He was supposed to write it and direct it, but like, here's what was happening. It was taking too long. It's like, well, you gotta let him cook, man.
Yeah.
You saw what happened when you let him cook on season 3.
And here's my thing too, which, there's always that little ambiguity left behind, that vagueness,
Yeah.
The vagueness in this, if I'm not mistaken, is who cut out the tongue.
Yeah.
Oh,
they never answered that.
They said the cops probably did it to like. Well, they said it, but like, how did it get back there in that room?
Because remember when they asked the women,
the women
are like, because when the women were explaining their little rampage on everything, that like when they said who cut the tongue out, she was like, "Yeah, that wasn't us."
Oh, that's what the guy said.
Because wasn't that scene after?
No, the guy said that.
Oh,
yeah, the women. She asked.
No, the women did too, man.
No, she asked them if they left it there, and they was like, "We don't know nothing about no tongue." because the tongue was left at the thing. Who left
Yeah.
the tongue there? What? I don't know nothing about that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But she asked that guy, like, why'd y'all cut her tongue out? And they're like, we didn't do that. Must have been the cops.
I don't know, man. It wasn't written like amazingly. It wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't. It wasn't True Detective. I'd rather watch season 2 over this one, honestly. And maybe that's just because of coming off of it or whatever. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's neither better or worse than 2. I think it's right there with it.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess that's something good to say about it,
Yeah.
is that it doesn't lower the bar of True Detective's low points any lower than it already was,
Right. I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it. I don't know.
I think it did all the interesting shit that was going on in this show, even with the reveal at the very end, everything interesting went on off camera.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the whole reason they're out there, and they were like, "No, we're it's all just one big stupid domino effect of us just all being manipulated by the scientists."
Yeah.
So in order, like, he wanted to kill himself, and he just done all this shit to survive, run from him, all this stuff, and he's like, I'm tired. I just want to die. Okay.
Right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's happening. But so she
and like
filmed him, right? That's when she filmed him, right? Because whenever she goes to Navarro's house, there's a fucking polar bear, and it's like, bitch,
Yeah.
bringing the polar bear up,
Yeah, bitch.
And there's a phone with a recorder, and I'm like, that phone ain't gonna have no battery life, but it did. It had just a sliver. They added that in. They were like, we know you thinking it'll be dead, but it was him confessing to what the mine had done to the town.
Yeah.
So cool, we got that. Okay.
Yeah.
It shows her on the porch. It's like, there's Navarro. So the boy's not going to be a cop anymore, right?
I mean,
I think, well, he told that girl, I'll be here with you. I just got to go do this one thing. I think after, like, because he was really proud of himself on being a good cop.
Yeah.
And got upset with Danvers when he told him, like, yeah, I know y'all killed him, and try to cover it up. I think because of what he did, he wasn't going to be a cop anymore.
Or there's a mutual understanding that, like, she would have been dead, probably. Because in that sequence, she wasn't armed. Yeah, she was.
Who?
She was Danvers. Was she armed whenever
No,
dude
he had
showed
her
up?
gun.
Yeah. So I think that, to me,
he was
the way
shoot her. And what did he say to him? He said something. Right before he shot, he knew he was going to shoot him.
Yeah.
The dad knew because he said something. Always remember this. And he raised the gun and he shot him because he's fucked either way. He's like, I either got to kill her or the mine people are going to be pissed. They're going to blackmail me. I'm going to be in trouble. But that's why he was covering that shit up.
Yeah.
Hiding those case files.
And strumming the old 6-string.
His song was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I enjoyed his song.
You know who got more screen time than any of the actors in this show?
The snow.
Well, I guess there's a better question. Dude, how many shots did that finale have of them holding a cup of coffee?
Oh, taking a break?
I mean, dude, it was
to eat some
like,
Funyuns. I'm like, get in there and ask that motherfucker what happened.
Well, like that shot of Jodie Foster on the porch and Navarro's on the other side. I was waiting for the image to blur out and then the logo of a coffee company come up, like Alaskan Hills.
Yeah.
The bolder, the better.
Dead Man Coffee.
Sometimes you just need a cup of joe.
Let it go.
I don't know. Maybe need to watch it again.
There are far better things that you have not watched yet before you revisit that shit, Griff.
I know.
Like bottom of the stack, but it's still there.
I mean, but to be fair though, the worst season of True Detective is still better than like 98% of the things that they put on TV. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
I mean, you're not wrong.
so that's just that, you
I
know.
enjoyed the ride,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
just when it
yeah.
got to the end, I was like, whenever it
I'm
happened
ready
where they
to
went
get
to those
out, you
women
know?
though, when they go to the women and they're like, she saw the little handprint and I was like, what the fuck is that, an alien? Because
Yeah.
it was missing fingers and it's like, oh, remember in the first episode when they got me here, you know? No, I don't remember that, you know?
Remember the context.
But when they go to them and then they got this like little militia crew that rolls in, I was like, they're going to kill him, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, clever.
I mean, dude,
You just explained it away.
Like for real, like her and fucking Project Mayhem just fucking own that
Yeah.
town.
The first rule of True Detective is you don't talk about True Detective.
The first rule about Alaska is you don't
Yeah.
talk about being
I
fucking
start drinking
cold.
at 2:00 on my off days.
The
And
ice
it's
fishing just ain't what it used to be out here.
Do we really trust the lady to help us hide two bodies?
exactly.
I'm like,
I mean,
what? Y'all like that? Like,
I
her
mean,
son's a cop.
especially one that talks with the weirdest accent.
The lady?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice her accent.
You have to finish what you started.
Oh yeah, she's like, no, you got to do it.
It's like you might want to look away. What for? Oh, you want me to cut your dad and empty all the air out of his lungs? Yeah. There'd be no shrimping on this boat for you, lad. All you get is stale porridge and dried biscuits.
I'm giving season 4 a half star.
Yeah.
Dude,
Because
I give
that's
it a
fair.
If the first one gets full star, and then season 2, I was half star on that. I'll go ahead. Full star season 3. I mean, you just can't season 3 comes out and it's like, oh, we're back. We're so back.
Yeah.
And then they should have let him write the stuff and do the.
Well,
I wonder why they took it away from him.
This one was like, we like to stick around.
They were like, it's going to star 2 women. And he was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
But the good thing about it is it's called True Detective Night Country. So technically, it's not technically. It's like
it's under the same umbrella.
Well, I mean, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like every tire in that show, dude, it was a spinoff, dude.
And Jodie Foster can play one mean bitch.
Yeah.
Man, and hey, what a way to play the most unattractive town whore.
Yeah. Well, dude, speaking of that, what was the outcome of her and fucking Eccleston's relationship? Yeah.
Like,
meant nothing. Meant nothing.
Well,
he's also banging the chick at the mine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But also, like, you would think that there would be some, because they're like, we got to get out there before fucking Eccleston shows up and shuts us down. And then he just never shows up and they never show him again in the rest of the season. What? I don't. That was,
Yeah.
I mean,
I like how during her interview though, she just stood up like, yeah, everything worked itself out. We done here? I'm like, you just gonna get up and walk out? Okay.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that I was just scratching my head about.
Oh, whenever it went off, I was like, Einhorn is Finkel.
Yeah.
It's Einhorn.
Well, it just kind of sucked because there was a lot of really cool ideas in this season that could have been written better. Like I love the idea that it was a detective story during the long night period of Alaska. Like that's
Yeah.
I mean
No
that
vampires
begs.
this time, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean it begs for murder mystery. You know what I mean? Like it's a good
Yeah.
setting. You all like because and the show did do a good job of like making you lose track of whether it was day or not because it didn't really matter. You know?
Yeah.
What was the other cop's name? Not Danvers.
Navarro.
Navarro, that's it. Dave. She finally got her name back. Or learned her name.
Couldn't pronounce it.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna try to say it, but
no, it's all right.
maybe he'll
Navarro.
come back.
Yeah.
He might be pissed. He's like, y'all fucking. You know, he was
Yeah.
just sitting there watching it as it aired.
Yeah.
Which he
He's like, "What
was.
the
They
fuck are
left
you
him on
doing?"
as executive producer, but he had nothing. You know, he didn't have anything to do. He would have been in there like, no, absolutely not. It's wild they could just take your shit.
Yeah.
Really?
You know?
Every
I'm not ready for a new
contract.
season. Well, we are. So we used AI. We slapped this together.
It's that fucking turtle from Your Highness. Playful secrets. Like, you know. they all take turns kissing him. You can write season 4 of True Detective if you reference Russ Cole, and it's effective.
Playful secrets.
That shit was funny when they're interrogating him. Or like, yeah, they're making him kiss him or whatever. It's like I don't want to do that, and he goes, "Playful secrets."
I remember. Was it they like smoking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're like that. Yeah, like they're smoking some weird wizard weed,
Yeah.
and he's like, he's basically trying to get him to suck his dick, fucking figure out where to go next.
All right. Trailers.
I'm ready for 'em.
We got them. We got a few. It's been 2 weeks.
And we
Yes,
have
man.
plenty.
I've kept it around. We might have one over. Usually I do 10.
Nah. Well, I mean, I hope all the. I mean, surely you dropped all the good ones
Yeah. Yeah.
because there's been quite a
We're
few.
just gonna watch Deadpool on loop. It sucks that the
Yeah.
Borderlands. It sucks that the Borderlands trailer comes out tomorrow.
I know.
Why would they even show you a teaser? It's like, don't tease me. Put the
Yeah.
fucking trailer out.
I will
Heard y'all
say
had to do a
ahead of
lot of
it-
reshoots.
I will
Yeah.
say ahead of it though, it does look good though.
We'll see.
It's got a. It looks like they were like, "Hey guys, you know Guardians of the Galaxy's set designer? Yeah, rip him off."
They did a lot of reshoots because Bobby Lee went and filmed that shit like 3 years ago. All right. Hundreds of beavers. Not what you're thinking.
Mm.
To play them?
Yeah. Oh God.
This was directed by the guy that directed Holy Mountain.
Was it?
No, no. Looks like it could be though, right?
Yeah.
We get it. You went to every film festival. I like how he fell and his shit came off.
I like how we're basically adapting Looney Tunes
Yeah.
cartoons into live action black and white.
But with people in like mascot costumes. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably nice though. Shooting in the cold,
Yeah.
be real warm.
It don't look bad.
I mean, it looks funny.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anybody got an ad?
I do.
No.
You do?
Yeah.
What's it
I
for?
ran past it.
Playful Secrets.
Playful
The woods
secret.
are real,
Oh, no, they're not.
and neither are birds.
Google it.
Playful Secrets. Getting a little tense.
Yeah.
Someone been playing Hotline Miami. Biblical.
Mm-hmm.
My dogs don't like this.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. They're doing like ayahuasca or something.
Yeah, the woods are real, and so are mosquitoes.
Okay.
Around the Angel Skinner stabbing cabin.
I gotta add. I buy direct.
Playful prescriptions.
All right, it's done.
Get our second trailer for Civil War, which has been bumped up. The release date, they're like, get it out.
Yeah, we gotta
I
get it
mean,
out quick.
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just waiting for Fortunate Son to be put to this movie's footage. I think if it's the same Civil War trailer I've seen.
He could be president.
Yeah.
Man, there's going to be people that watch this. They're giving people ideas. Like, you know, they'll be watching this. That's exactly what needs to happen. Oh, Pink Pandy. That's eerie.
Mm-hmm.
That dude reminds me of Pedro Pascal. That was the president's car. That's a wild idea, man.
Yeah, right.
To even have.
Yeah.
Trav, have you seen this? We ad free?
I gotta add.
I'm good.
No, but I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
I had one of those TVs. It was a Sony. Was that how it ended?
I think so.
Bet.
Yeah. Previously on X-Men.
He left his chair to us.
Dude, I'm buying cereal and milk specifically to watch this.
You know them colors are gonna pop on that Blu-ray quality.
Oh yeah.
Definitely gonna check it out.
Oh, son. Sheesh, my
I like the
God.
color of the blue that they used on Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Maxquito.
plot thickens.
Age restricted.
But
Oh, it's the Sasquatch trailer, so we can't skip this. I got an ad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop
Yeah.
the Sasquatch trailer in general. We have to watch it.
Okay.
Okay, back this up. Why would that be age restricted?
The Sasquatch is maybe real.
YouTube is smoking crack. Hang on, I got it. Sasquatch Sunset. Because this shit looks wild. You can leave that room and go back in, it'll still be there. I've tested it. I'll drop the in general.
Here, let me. Bam.
Let me know when everybody's got it up.
I got it pulled up. I'm shreddy.
You got it, Trev?
It's loading on my end.
I had to drop the trailer in general.
Yeah.
You got it?
Hold on.
I don't know why it's age restricted.
Yeah.
But this is Jesse Eisenberg. They're all wearing Sasquatch suits. Why do you?
Hold on,
Why do you pay Eisenberg and then put him in a
Put him in a
Sasquatch suit?
suit?
Yeah.
He did it. He did it for free.
He's like, I shadowed Andy Serkis for a week.
Yeah. I learned all the moves.
Yeah. Yeah, is that where you picked the accent up? What accent?
Yeah. The precious. It's like, whoa.
You got it, Trav? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm having to do some technical. I'm having some technical difficulties. Give me just a moment. I'm sorry.
Riley Keough. I know that name. Mad Max Fury Road. Logan Lucky.
I looked it up too, yeah.
All right, I am ready.
Sasquatch Sunset?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right.
A24 was like, we're not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I don't even think they speak. Oh, that's why.
Oh shit.
It was on that day they learned doggy style. I did a twisty. Let's say a unicorn of a movie.
Yeah.
It's funny. Is that shit? Oh.
Oh god. The fuck?
All right.
I mean, I don't even know, you know.
Like that's what I took from that trailer. No. I mean, Harry and the Hendersons reboot looks
It
sick,
does look
y'all.
like Harry. Yeah.
Right.
Are we back in the
Yes, the beast. You
back
think
in
you can
traffic?
beat the beast?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back in here with the beast.
All right. Ooh, aspect ratio.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dude from 1917.
Yeah.
That's how you do a trailer.
Yeah. Looks interesting.
Coming soon. TriStar. I got an ad. Ranger. Oh, we got the Twister trailer.
Ooh, I did a twister.
Everybody ad free.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see what we got. I recognize the main guy, but I don't know. I don't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
I'm good.
Oh, he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Oh yeah.
That's where I recognize him from. Yeah, this one hits a little too close to home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Another Granger ad. Yeah, you ain't getting anywhere with me with this ad. All right. It's got polka dot man. That's original.
Yeah. I'm getting some Tales from the Crypt vibes, you know?
Mm-hmm. My ad is a trailer. That's funny. Manhunt. I think that's John Wilkes Booth. Here's some tickets to the theater, you know? Interesting.
Yeah.
Never heard his story. Is that fucking... It is
Patton?
him.
Yeah.
Is he playing General Patton? He's like, I don't get you, Booth. And his little Patton Oswalt voice. Yeah, it didn't age well. All right, Apple.
Sympathizer. Yeah.
This is that Robert Downey Jr. one where he plays... I don't know if it's different people or what, because it's like a spy movie. America, he said. It's a weird looking guy. Oh, doing series now.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Looks good.
Yeah. Looks thrilling.
Mm.
Little spy thriller action.
Yeah. Downey playing
Spiller?
like 8 people.
Yeah.
Spiller. Capital
I
One.
gotta. Yeah.
They're buying Discovery.
Wow.
36 billion. Don't even have the chance to skip it. That's the Deadpool trailer.
I'm ready.
The wig, man. This suit up.
Yeah, right.
Saluting the cap. I was smelling what your stepping is, Sensei. They say that's not Hugh Jackman at that table. Marvel Jesus. Did he say fuck?
Yeah.
It's gonna be rated R. Y'all see the comic book?
Yeah.
Secret Wars? Or is it Civil War? No, it's a secret. God, I can't wait. He is Marvel Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Our Savior has returned. He's like, I saw the Marvels. You know?
Get it out. Get rid of it.
Pegging.
It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna
I'm
be
gonna have to go to the
incredible.
theater.
Yeah,
I can't
for
wait.
sure. For sure.
Because they'll spoil it.
Yeah.
The internet ruins everything. Damn.
I know, right? What the hell?
This is like all the cops. What the fuck? When people start shouting police brutality here, it's like, you need to look.
Yeah. Right.
Low key, this might be a banger.
Yeah, for real. Damn.
El Hydra. Here the song comes. Violence. All out. Balls to the wall.
Looks interesting.
That is done. All right. Trav, you got your pick for next week? If you don't, we do have the fourth one. But if you do, we'll watch yours. But if not, we can wait till. And it'll be was it Zone of Interest?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with the fourth one for now.
Zone of Interest?
Yeah.
All right. You'll pull one for next week. Or the week after. You have to listen to it next week.
Mm-hmm.
Put your pocket. Not that pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, checks in the mail.
The flag is raised.